Hey guys, welcome back to Nerd Doctors. I'm here with my co-host Griff, and today we are going to be reviewing Elvis. Finally came out. This movie had been postponed because of COVID. Funny thing I was sharing with Griff just the other day is the only news we got on Elvis for like the longest time, I think a little over a year and a half, was that Tom Hanks had been cast as Colonel Tom Parker, which is great news because, who doesn't love Tom? But I was like, in an Elvis biopic, who in the hell is playing Elvis? And we didn't get that for like the longest time. But finally it came out. We've both seen it. Here are our thoughts on it.
Yeah, I went into this movie. I didn't know too much. I knew like minor details about Elvis's life, so a lot of this was very informational for me. But the movie was good overall. Overall, I'd say it was good. But it's at towards the end, it just seemed to drag on for like the last 40 minutes. Keep in mind this is a 2.5 hour movie, but it felt a little slow towards the end there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually enjoyed the movie a lot. The only thing that took me out of it, and I think we're both in agreement here, is the new music that was on there. Doja Cat is part of the movie, and she's part of the soundtrack, but she sings or she performs, Hound Dog, and it just completely took me right the hell out of the movie. I felt like I was back in 2022. I don't know. It was just very weird.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why we had rap music in an Elvis movie. If we had like some more blues or like Western style songs, yeah, that would make sense. That's what inspired him, especially like earlier in the movie. But just having a rap song in the middle of the movie just felt really weird.
It just felt odd. It felt out of place. Yeah, it's like if you were watching a Star Wars movie and then there was like a Burger King commercial. You'd be like, what the hell just happened? That's exactly how I felt. I was like, okay, cool. You didn't see any of that in like, Bohemian Rhapsody, phenomenal film, or, Rocket Man, also just beautiful film. You didn't see all of a sudden like somebody grab an Elton John song and do a Western with it. So it felt like that would have been the case with the other movies. Like if somebody would have done We Are the Champions, but like in country music in Bohemian Rhapsody, you would have been like, what the hell just happened? It just would have been the weirdest thing. So same here. But the cast is phenomenal. I mean, Austin Butler, for all intents and purposes, while we were watching the movie, I just kept feeling like I was watching Elvis. And towards the end, when you start seeing actual Elvis footage, you're like, oh, he looked totally different.
Yeah, no, I noticed that too. I was like, especially like towards the end, as you mentioned, he did look a bit different.
Yeah,
But during the movie, until you get to that point, you can't really tell. And it's him singing the songs until the end when Elvis gets older. They mix in some of Elvis's audio and Austin Butler's to get the correct tone, which I think is very cool.
exactly. Yeah, that's amazing because they could have gone the easy route and just, played back Elvis's music and it would have been okay, which is the case with every other, Elvis movie. They're all playbacks. Here, as Griff said, this is Austin Butler singing Elvis songs, and you're like, up until the point where you get to the end, you're like, oh, that was that kid's voice. That was not Elvis. That's amazing. And also, I felt like he didn't do what I felt in other Elvis movies. And Griffin's lucky because this was his first Elvis movie ever. So congratulations. My issue was in all the other movies, it always felt like they were doing an impersonation of Elvis. Here, as I said, up until the end, I'm like, oh, he looks totally different. But, meanwhile, I was invested in the fact that this kid's Elvis. He moves and sings. And you know what? Funny enough, he gets the voice down so perfectly. He sounds like Elvis Presley.
Yeah, that was really, really cool to see and to hear. It was such a thick accent that he did, and it was him and Tom Hanks both had great accents for this movie that I probably wouldn't be able to tell which like if it was an actor or the real person or even name the actor, much less.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with you. And when it hit me, I was watching all the late night talk shows and stuff like that. And I was seeing Austin on, Jimmy Kimmel and all these other shows. And to hear him talk, and I was like, oh, he sounds nothing like it. And in one of these talk shows, he actually did the voice. And that's when I got it. That's when I was like, oh man, okay. He totally studied for months and months and months to do this performance.
Probably for a couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, to get the voice to that degree, it's amazing. But good actor, man. I hope this dude gets at the very minimum an Oscar nomination. He deserves it.
One thing I do wish this movie did, that I think Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocketman did better, was I liked hearing the complete songs instead of just couple minute clips. like they did do a couple of complete songs, but I think I liked more of the musical style from Rocketman and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the director here who, he's more of a showman. He wants to entertain the audience. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen some of those songs longer. I definitely would have cut out that, Doja Cat and all that other new music from the movie and just focused on Elvis.
Hmm.
But the cast is phenomenal, man. I only know the names of Austin Butler as Elvis and, Colonel Tom Parker, Tom Hanks, but the girl that plays Priscilla Presley, phenomenal. And the relationship between Elvis and his mom, there's scenes in the movie where, without going into spoilers, where he's being worked to death, but he's like, as long as my mom doesn't have to ever live in poverty again, I'm good. I mean, come on.
So okay, I got a question then, because I've been going back and forth with it. Who is this movie about? Elvis or Tom Parker? Because it seemed to be more of a Tom Parker movie than Elvis, especially since is very minor, but you'll get it from the get go. He's narrating throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I would say Elvis with Colonel Tom Parker's narration. Like, in other words, after you've seen the movie, you realize, and if you're an Elvis fan, you realize that, essentially this is the bad guy. Well, this is him, saying, I really wasn't that bad. This is what happened. So I would say Elvis, but narrated by Tom Parker.
No, that's fair. It was very interesting to learn more about this, and I'll have to, I guess, do a bit more reading to see what was more dramatized than what actually happened. It seemed to be pretty accurate, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
I've been a fan of the dude forever. My dad's a fan. I think some of it was, to be honest with you, a little bit over exaggerated, but for the most part, it's pretty faithful. I mean, that was his life. He did really like black music, and he, went with it. Some people say stole it. I wouldn't say he stole it. I say he saw him. He was a fan of it, and he ran with it. He was good at it. So those are my thoughts on Elvis. I think it's a great film. Could have had it to be better, but to be honest with you, up until now, I'll stand by this. Top Gun is still my favorite movie so far.
Yeah, no, overall, I think it was a good movie, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. It was a good movie.
Yeah, let us know, guys. What do you think? Tom Hanks, Austin Butler, are they up for Oscars? I certainly think that they should be, at the very minimum, nominated.
Thank you for joining us for our video today. This is our review on Elvis. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our current videos. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.